we are ready to go. Tara Jones is ready to go. So are Wigan, so are Huddersfield. The Giants will get us underway. Lola here with the kick-off, but Lola here at standoff. Clune at scrum half, Wolford at 9, Evels at 1, and it's been a long time since Huddersfield have had a first choice or big choice spine in their team.
Yeah,
will it make a difference today? We shall see. Here is Liam Farrell, still, well, they call him Benjamin Button, don't they? Veteran stage, the Wigan captain. Look at his 17th season, but still going strong and still as good and as influential as ever. Important, I think, for Huddersfield to make an impact in these opening stages, to make sure that they keep Wigan down in their own half. The halfway kick comes in from Smith. There is Niall Evels. It's been some story for Niall Evels. Signed from Hulkington Rovers, only his third game. He broke his foot on his Huddersfield debut, and then on his comeback game he ripped his calf muscle. So he's had a wretched time, but back in business, as is Adam Clune, and we'll see what Huddersfield come up with this afternoon.
Yeah, and a decent first defensive set as well, and now looking to run the ball pretty directly on their first set in possession. You're right when you say about the spine. It's the first time in a long time you've been able to string those names together. Evels with an attempted tip-on. That's been played into Eckersley. And Tara Jones has given a set restart to the Huddersfield Giants, who are throwing the ball around a little bit here.
Well, they'll give it a go. I mean, how difficult must it be for Liam Finn, their interim coach? Have a look at that. Yeah, I think it was probably more ball to head, wasn't it? But yeah, Liam Finn, Luke Robinson's best mate, and then has to take over the team after the sacking of his friend. But he has Luke Robinson's blessing. John said we'll touch more as the game goes on the latest situation with the Huddersfield Giants. But today it's all that matters is what goes on that pitch. Rodgers. Got a couple left in this set for the Giants. That's a good ball. There is Connor Wrench. That's some story as well, isn't it? Retired at the age of 23. Kick goes up from Lola here, cross field. Taken well, but not able to get the ball out. And Wigan will comfortably deal with that.
Well, look, if I was Liam Finn, I'd be making notes in the notebook already, because they've been gifted a bit of position and some time in possession. And a last tackle option here that doesn't challenge anybody, doesn't give anybody the opportunity to put any pressure on Wigan. You know, you would have thought they're going to be limited in the amount of opportunities they're going to have at that end of the field. You've got to make them count.
Marshall it was with the run. Here is Farrell. Yeah, Wigan edging out York in an absolute thriller here last weekend. 23-22. Harry Smith drop goal the difference to maintain their 100% start. But of course, no Miskey, no Wardle, and crucially no Field and no French. Offload picked up by O'Neill, and Smith eventually gets the kick downfield. Taken well by Jacob Douglas.
Yeah, high shot given away. That was
no arguments there.
Bit of a lazy arm, and Zenon has to ride the challenge. It's a physical involvement and a snaking arm, and another reprieve for the Giants. An uncharacteristic start here from the Wigan Warriors. 6 again conceded in the first set of defence, penalty in the second, and because of the wind, I think this is Tuilola here has opted not to chance going for touch, and he's just taken the tap.
There is Matty Peake. You won't be impressed with the start for sure. Yeah, Tanguy Zenon on the right wing. Jacob Douglas signed on a season-long loan for St Helens. Played here. Of course, released by Wigan on the left wing. So it's very much a new-look team, a new-look Huddersfield. Zenon preferred to Tane Mills on the wing. Quick play the ball, Wolford now, and Clune with the short ball. Looking for Patolo. This is decent from the Giants. The last one, what can they do with it? Here is Clune with a little kick through, and was it knocked on there by Nsemba? It's going to be a goal line dropout because he's pushed back and behind his own try line. Tell you what, encouraging start this for Huddersfield.
Yeah, much better second set in possession. And they applied some pressure here. They're going to spend some more time, in all probability, in this area of the field. It remains to be seen whether Harry Smith goes for the short dropout. But you're right, and again, to reference your point about that 1, 6, 7 and 9, it's so important that you get some kind of continuity in those key positions on the field. I know George Flanagan's made an incredible fist of it in his time. He's now injured and on the treatment table. But they've got round pegs in round holes for the first time in what seems like a long time.
Yeah. King with the run. Yeah, and as you suggested, they weren't going to risk the short goal line dropout, not with the winds swirling around inside the stadium. But yeah, this is a highly encouraging for the Giants. Wolford from dummy half. Fenton Rogers. And the set restart. So Wigan's discipline here is costing them a penalty, another penalty, a couple of set restarts. There is Gagai. 10 yards out. What a perfect start it would be if they could put points on the board. Wolford now, and no joy. But they're close. They're close. Ball goes to the left-hand side with Clune. Tolo plays the ball quickly. Wolford again. King trying to swivel out and get over that line, but Walters is in there along with Ellis to make the tackle. Clune, short ball, but no joy for others. Good defence. Terrific defence by Adam Kieran. But he's offside. He's offside. The Wigan are doing themselves no favour. Yeah. Penalties, set restarts.
Yeah, and Adam Kieran, he did read it really well. Gagai with the lead line run through, but the Wigan Warriors once again defending on the goal line. The Giants, they spent a decent period of time down here now. They've got to come away with something.
Yeah, agreed. Need to put points on the board with this possession. Wolford. Clune goes on his own with a dummy. What an important tackle that was by Walters. Otherwise, Adam Clune was over. Another set restart. Here is Lola here. Gagai brought down, but Wigan could be counting the cost of their mistakes very soon if they can find a way through. Clune again, already influential. Shows how much they've missed Adam Clune. Charge from Rogers. What a tackle. What a tackle, but he offloaded the ball to King. Clune once more. Oh, that's a waste. That's a waste. Wigan survived. They were masters of their own downfall there, Wigan. But pretty comfortably they survived in the error from Huddersfield.
Yeah, it won that last 5 seconds back, Adam Clune. Understandable that he's going to be a little rusty. And this was the tackle from Sam Walters on Clune a couple of plays ago. Significant defensive contribution from the big, rangy back row for Wigan.
Well, it's been all Huddersfield. And now that caught out. Gifting the penalty to Wigan. Tara Jones certainly putting down a marker in the opening stages. You muck around, I'll penalise you. Get on with the game. Good refereeing. Here we go. 9 minutes gone. First real opportunity for Wigan after being under pressure for the opening stages. Good run from Havard. Here is Luke Thompson.
Oh, good first initial contact there. Asher O'Donnell got right into the grill of Luke Thompson.
Nowhere for Farriman to go. Impressive. Deputising, of course, for Bevan French in the halves. Here is Thompson again. Met again by O'Donnell with the help of one or two colleagues. O'Neill, now they may have room on that right-hand side. Long pass from Farriman. Here's Eckersley looking for a way through. Good scrambling defence from Clune. And from Douglas to keep him out. Wigan threatening. Last one, up goes the kick. Dangerous this. Tap back by Nsemba. Smith into the arms of Farrell. Farrell going for the line. Farrell has managed to get over, has he, for the try? Well, it was all over the shot. Ball goes to ground, ball bobbles around, ball was kicked to the left-hand side. But it's going up as a no try. Has Liam Farrell given Wigan the lead or not? We're about to find out. Chris Kendall is the video referee.
Okay, we have a live call of no try. Everyone's onside from the original kick. We're going to then go into the tightened version. So that ball is knocked backwards by December. So what happens now? So it hits Harry Smith's leg there. At this point, Liam Farrell is in an offside position. What happens now? Okay, he's still in an offside position. He needs to have both feet behind the ball, which he doesn't. So what does he do now? Okay, so it's kicked there. Does Farrell get both feet behind where the ball was touched? Okay, in my view, no, he doesn't. So it's touched there. Farrell now has to get both feet behind there, and he doesn't. So as soon as he takes possession, he's offside. I've viewed the angles I need. I've made my decision.
Yeah, correct call. Got there in the end, Chris Kendall. But yeah, offside position, good spot on the field. Try is going to be disallowed, and a reprieve for the Huddersfield Giants. Liam Farrell could have moved there to within one of Chris Wadlinski's try-scoring total for the Wigan Warriors. Not on this occasion. And just an early warning of just how efficient the Wigan Warriors can be in this end of the field.
Yeah. Yeah, good on-field call as well,
yeah,
by the rookie Super League ref. It remains 0-0, 10 minutes gone. Wigan have won their last 8 matches here against the Huddersfield Giants. Just having a look back, you have to go all the way back to 2019 for the last time that Huddersfield won a game in Wigan. But encouraging signs in the opening 10 minutes for the Giants, just lacking that finishing touch.
Yeah, it's just that cutting edge, isn't it? And look, and it's understandable, it's going to take time. A lot of these players have been out for some period on the physio table, so it's getting the reps in, it's spending time together in those positions we talked about, those key positions on the field. Tuilola here lofts one last tackle.
Yeah, gets caught in the wind. It's an awkward one, but it's a good take by Farriman. Watched it well. Good chase as well by Huddersfield. A real arm wrestle in the opening 10 or 11 minutes.
There's some really positive signs. Just the body language from the Huddersfield Giants is positive. But then again, it was positive last week when I covered the Bradford game. You know, they were in that game up to their eyeballs on the half-hour mark, and then it just got away from them in the second half. And it was areas like this. It was around the ruck. They were dominated. It just got too quick for them for periods of the game. It's looking a little like that now.
Picked up on the bounce by Farrell, who then knocks it on. So, big celebration. There's no doubt here that Huddersfield are playing for each other as a group, and Wigan rattled in these early stages. They weren't at their best, were they? They somehow managed to find a win, a way to win against York, and yeah, Matthew Pete will no doubt be making a few mental notes during this first half. It's not been the best from his side so far, but you can only play as well as the opposition let you, and Huddersfield have been pretty good so far.
Even with the way that they defended there, just that they did look like they were short of numbers, but Connor Wrench goes in, so Tanguy Zenon follows him in as well. You know, I think you can make up and cover up for an awful lot of shortcomings there if you're all on the same page, and they were.
Patolo will play the ball. Wolford now for Fenton Rogers. Defence from Ellis once more and from O'Neill. Lola here changes his mind, switches from right to left. Clune with a little kick through. Clune will go for it. Clune will score, will he or not? That could be an amazing tackle. An amazing tackle. Clune looked all over a scorer. What a tackle that was to deny Adam Clune. We're going to get it absolutely certain from the video referee. Wow. Brilliant defence. No try.
Okay, we have a live call of no try. Clune kicks the ball, regathers the ball himself. Right, we'll go into a tight inversion now. Does he ever get the ball to the ground? Okay, you can see the ball is up at that point. It doesn't get to the ground. It's still up. Still up. Does he maintain possession? The ball is still up. And he's tackled short. So it's going to be no try. I've made my decision.
I'll tell you what. Noah Hodkinson, we've played 30 years of Super League, has just produced one of the best try-saving tackles you will see. What a tackle from the rookie fullback.
That's sensational. Remarkable tackle. Just the mechanics alone. You thought for all money that Adam Clune was going to go over. I'm sure we'll get another look at that because that is worth playing a few times. That is sensational rearguard stuff from the young fullback.
You and I looked at each other. How on earth did he score?
Yeah, how?
How on earth did he make the tackle? Last one, danger still there. Evans kicked through by Wrench, taken well by Marshall, but he'll be pushed back over the try line.
Like it from
They are on it.
Yeah.
They are on it without a doubt.
Yeah, that would have been so easy there. So Connor Wrench, so easy just to have done it, but the second player in, Niall Evans, this is the tackle. It was really cute from Adam Clune. Saw the fullback was potentially out of position. Well, I'll tell you what, you can stick, I'm sure there's going to be a highlight reel that's going to develop and evolve over Noah Hodkinson's career, but that should be front and centre. That was beautiful work defensively. Real confidence booster for the young man. It's a really important position in the modern game, the fullback. Both sides of the ball, and he's shown up extremely well there defensively.
We've had the curse of the fullback and the injuries this season, sadly.
Hey, but it's an opportunity for people like this, isn't it?
Yeah,
the next stars, the next cabs up the rank.
There was another one last night. Noah Matarafa of York suffering a dislocated elbow. Here is O'Donnell for Huddersfield. I still can't understand A, how Clune didn't score, and B, how Hodkinson made that tackle. That was magnificent. Long pass out for Douglas, but no change there out of Zach Eckersley. For all the possession and all the pressure. 63% possession for the Huddersfield Giants.
This is what Wigan do really well, isn't it? We know this.
Here's Wolford. Oh, he's close. Still searching for his first Super League try for Huddersfield, Zach Wolford. Kick through towards the line again. Marshall this time was alert to it and stays in play. Defensively, Wigan have been terrific, but how many times have we said that over the years? And they get a penalty. Interference at the play of the ball, but Noah Hodkinson, with that tackle on Adam Clune, may well just have changed the direction of this game. We shall see. That's how damn good it was.
Yeah, it was top draw stuff. The Wigan Warriors, I think, are soaked up, and that is what they are very, very good at doing. Soak up inordinate amounts of pressure and kind of break the will of the attacking side, who spent a long period of time looking at that Wigan Warriors try line. They've come away with precisely nothing. Good carry now from Luke Thompson. That's a great carry. Look at the meters he's made. I mean, that's just turned an average set into a potentially threatening set for the Warriors.
Luke Thompson, one of the great prop forwards of the Super League era, that was no doubt. Big hit there by Powell on Walters. Enjoying this really gritty performance from the Giants. You know that if you give Wigan half a chance, they'll punish you. And there is the teasing kick again by Smith. Evans will go up for it. Tap back, comes off the ankles, I think, of Walters, and the danger diffused, eventually pounced on by Niall Evans. Still 0-0, 16 minutes gone.
Evans at the second opportunity, the bounce was favourable, wasn't it? So it was Hodkinson who got over his opposition fullback, but yeah, the second rebound, he takes it really well. Gagai now trying to clear Huddersfield Giants lines. Now it's the Wigan Warriors' turn to apply a little bit of pressure defensively here.
0-0 it is here. In the middle of your picture there is Chris Hill, veteran of over 500 games, of course, enjoyed a stellar career, winning virtually everything, and was a big part of the Huddersfield Giants for a while too.
Just back of the field, still well behind, 30-40 metres behind the Huddersfield Giants. Adam Kieran receiving some running repairs. doesn't look great, you know. And that would be more reshuffles for the Wigan Warriors. He's now retaking his position in the line, so potentially danger averted for Matt Peat.
Yeah, Wigan's injury problems are all in the backs, aren't they? Field, French, Wardle, Miskey. Set restart. Here is the impressive Luke Thompson again. And Wigan starting to turn the screw, I wonder. Smith for Farrell, and Zenon there with the tackle. Yeah, it was high. It was high. Penalty only. Apologises to the Wigan captain. So Wigan now beginning to assert some pressure.
Got the mechanics of it wrong. Went too high, but I like the decision making. You know, there's another young, inexperienced outside back, and you know there's very little margin for error on the wing these days. You've got to make a decision and make it stick. So look, penalty given away, but I think on balance you would say he's come out of that well, Zenon. They're tough decisions to make. You don't have a lot of time to make them. So Adam Kieran will leave the field.
Yeah. And that is a blow. Been such a big part of what they've done. It looks like he's got a cut as well, doesn't he? Below his eyes. So there will be some treatment, I'm sure, for Adam Kieran, and maybe a head injury assessment as well. But they can scarcely lose another back, especially one as influential as Kieran. We'll get an update on him as far as Kieran goes as soon as possible. But there he goes, Wigan. But that was a difficult one for Farriman to take. It was a bullet pass, wasn't it, from Smith? And Huddersfield, as you say, throughout this game they've been up in the grill, haven't they?
Yeah, they haven't missed it that time. It was Adam Clune who really put the pressure on Farriman. Well, I'll tell you what, Jacob Gagai in the left centre for Huddersfield will be looking in front of them and going, oh my God, what have I got here? Because Sam Walters is the man who Matt Peat has chosen to replace.
Maybe some space here. Zenon now, has he got the pace? Goes round one, gets eludes the tackle of Smith, and then Marshall manages to stay in play. Yeah, and then a penalty given away. I don't think Wigan can have too many complaints about that.
You know, look, you know,
Liam Marshall will complain.
Well,
but
he's remonstrating to the touch judge. I think this is patient stuff from Zenon as well. He's not overplayed his hand, made sure he kept in field, and the Wigan Warriors have done the darnest to try and get him to the touchline, but dragged the ball out in the process. So the Giants, again, and probably a reward for their really positive, upbeat start, find themselves with another full set here in really good field position.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. I think you and I were pretty hopeful that this wasn't going to be as one-sided as many people predicted it would be when we got to the ground. Knowing the Huddersfield team, and
you just laid the commentator's curse there, haven't you?
Well, yeah,
for the next 15 minutes.
Thank you, John. We'll see. Ever the optimist. Here is Clune. It was well held onto as well, you have to say, by Patolo. You may hear some applause in the background. We'll tell you about that in just a moment. But danger here for Wigan as Evans tries to find Gagai, and this time it will be a try. Jacob Gagai gets the first score of the game, thoroughly deserved. Huddersfield hit the front.
The two-step acceleration from Jacob Gagai is something else. I mean, off the mark there, whip fast. It looked like a play that was going nowhere, didn't it? Jacob Gagai, who joined the Huddersfield Giants ahead of the 2025 season, picks up his third of the 2026 season, and it's all down to that acceleration. Those first 2 or 3 steps, Niall Levels provides the try-scoring pass, but it didn't look like this was going anywhere in particular. You take a look, almost flat-footed, but just that cut and acceleration on the catch undoes the Wigan Warriors defence.
And that's where Adam Kieran would have been.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, Sam Walters, you can forgive him. He'll feel very, very exposed and vulnerable. That's a middle-edge forward who's operating 5 metres out from the touchline. And Jacob Gagai won't care. That's some serious snap acceleration from the centre.
Chance to add the extras. We're about 10 yards in from touch. Caught in the wind, so 4-0 it stays in Huddersfield's favour, but you've got to say they deserve to be in front.
Yeah, and you know, it's a really significant psychological mark, that, isn't it, for the Huddersfield Giants? They have now got something for that time, that weight of possession. 66% of possession, you know, in the first 20 minutes of the game. That's a significant amount of time that they've had the ball. So finally they get the rewards, and it's down to that two-step brilliance from Jacob Gagai. That is rapid off the mark. That scared a lot of people, that.
Well, you may have heard just before the try there was a minute's applause, and that was for 21-year-old Wigan fan Daniel Barnes, who tragically died after suffering a heart attack on the way home from the match last weekend, and our condolences go out to his friends and his family. 4-0. Huddersfield worthy of their lead.
Absolutely, 100% they are. There's been some uncharacteristic stuff from the Wigan Warriors. Not the goal line defence, notwithstanding the Gagai effort there. I think that they've soaked up an inordinate amount of pressure. But we're seeing a Huddersfield Giants side that has come to play, and even look, you can see the effects of the wind here. Adam Clune with a clearing kick that barely crosses the 40.
Clune's made a difference. Emerald's has made a difference. You can see there the wind rattling our camera around. It really is. And it swirls around in this stadium
shot.
well, doesn't it?
Asher O'Donnell's just got up close and personal with Sam Esse. Yeah, take a look at this shot. First contribution from Esse. Well, get put on your backside by Asher O'Donnell. Couple of big shots that O'Donnell's put in now.
We're going to win a game. They know they're in a game. Here is Farriman. We'll have news on Adam Kieran's head injury assessment as soon as we get it from pitch side. Here is Kane Ellis looking for a way through. Oh, I think already been held. Yeah. Tackle already called. It was held by the referee. Smith on the last will put this towards Zenon. Takes it well, the young Frenchman. But you know, you take top players out of any team, they're not going to be the same team. And Wigan, without French and Field, are not going to be the same team as Wigan with French and Field.
You know, as St Helens without Wellesbury and company, you know, it's just a fact of life, isn't it? Every team wants their superstars on deck, and the Huddersfield Giants have done it really tough for a number of weeks. And there are some of them there. Boy, there's some salary caps out there, isn't there? Bevan French from the right to left, Jay Field in the middle, and Jake Wardle on the left. I mean, they're three certain starters, aren't they?
Evans. Here is Wrench. Conor Wrench is an interesting story. Actually, his last game for Warrington was last August. Then on against O'Neill. O'Neill manages to scramble back, does he? Zenon gets it off the ground. Lower here. Douglas in space. Can he pick him up? Douglas goes for the line. Oh, he's done it again.
Oh, wow.
He has done it again. Noah Hodkinson. Unbelievable from the young fullback. 20 years of age, and not once, but twice, he has saved certain tries.
I'll tell you what's really smart in the first instance from Zenon. You know, he sees Marshall go and chase a kicker that never came. The kick does come in from Muller here, but what about that for a tackle? Oh, wow. Wow, you run out of superlatives sometimes to describe the actions on Super League fields, and that young kid, well, his stock has risen immeasurably inside the opening half hour of this game.
Blimey.
Jay Field may be nervous, sitting up there. Wonder whether he'll get his shirt back.
He'll have to go, son, to beat the first try-saving tackle to beat Adam Clune, but he went some there. That was fantastic. Here is Walters playing right centre for Wigan at 6'7".
Jacob Gagai's having nightmares.
Smith on the last. That's a difficult swirling ball, and it was well taken by Niall Evans. Once so long ago, Niall Evans won the Lance Todd Trophy at Wembley, but in a losing cause.
Really good example there of what a ball that wobbles in the air does. You see how Niall Evans had to lunge forward at the last minute. The ball, when you catch the ball right like that, it moves, and it moves late. Good carry from Conor Wrench as well. Boy, this Huddersfield Giants side are up and about, aren't they?
66% possession against Wigan on Wigan's home ground. That shows you how well they're playing.
Confident, tails up, good shape.
Last one, midway side, the Wigan half of the field. Goes back to Aaron Clue. What a difference he's made as well. Hodkinson takes it well, beats one man. He's way down that right-hand side.
Stop it, we've got the next superstar in Super League. Stop it, the footwork.
Well, he was player of the match on his Super League debut last week against York.
That's top draw. Top draw, well done, young man. Oh dear me, and then Harry Smith, one of the most experienced in the Wigan Warriors ranks. Under no pressure. I think he'd already decided what he was going to do after he caught the ball. I'll tell you what, you talked about Noah Hodkinson building a highlight reel for 2026. I'll tell you what, you've got 3 or 4 clips already from this game alone, haven't you? Matt Pete must be over the moon, not with the side's performance, but certainly put a lot of trust in this young fullback. And he's delivered in spades so far.
Well, if you're Matty Pete, you're thinking we're playing dreadfully, but we're only 4-0 down.
Yeah, this is the mistake from Harry Smith. That it wasn't the greatest of passes, was it, from dummy half? But this is why they find themselves in this position, defending again, the Warriors.
Powell. 10 yards away from the Wigan try line. Once again, charges on from Burgess. How influential can Tom Burgess be off the bench for the Giants? Go to the left-hand side. Clune again. Long pass out for Douglas. Onside for Eccles, and Eccles is shadowed well. Manages to get the ball out. Play on. Clune does play on. Offload there, looking. Wow.
It's Cozza, I think, who's just held up.
It was Cozza on the line. Last one. They're getting ever closer. Lola here now. Is the space out on this right-hand side for Zenon? Zenon! Oh, he's dropped the ball. In the act of scoring. In the act of scoring. They wonder whether it was knocked out of his hand. There could be a captain's challenge here. There is going to be a captain's challenge. But is that a third certain try that Huddersfield haven't been able to take advantage of? This is going to be interesting. Let's have a look at this.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge. Huddersfield are challenging the decision of a knock-on. Okay, can't see anything on that angle. Go camera 8. The ball's on the line. Is he in possession of the ball? Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to have a look, make sure there's no obstruction in the build-up. Okay, we'll run it through from here now. Okay, Burgess finds space, that's all fine. That's all fine. Right, we'll go right from the play of the ball. Right, he finds space, that's fine. Burgess finds space, that's fine, there's no contact there. That's all fine. Okay, Conor Wrench has passed the ball. He's in the process of stopping. Partington then pushes him into Farrell. So that is not an obstruction because that is caused by Partington. So that's play on now. We're going to go to the grounding. I'm fine with that element of it. Does this ball get grounded? Okay, does the ball get grounded? Does it does. He keeps his hand on the ball and the ball hits the line. I'm happy I've viewed the angles I need. I've made my decision.
Well, that is the perfect use of the video referee. That is the perfect use of the captain challenge. And that is a try for Tanguy Zenon, and Huddersfield get their second score and they double their lead against Wigan. Wow, what a performance from the Giants this is, and what a try that was from Zenon.
And it's nothing less than they deserve, and it's nothing yet less than this young man deserves either. I think he's had a really bright start to the game. There's good shape. Nice early ball from Connor Wrench, gives his winger a chance, and not for the first time, he ducks back inside, shows some really good footwork, and then excellent presence of mind and spatial awareness and control over the football to get the ball grounded. And I'm happy with everything I've seen as well during the video referee process. Yeah. I'm happy with the way it was challenged. I'm happy with the outcome. I'm happy for this kid. I think he's had a really positive start.
Huddersfield lead 8-0, half an hour gone. A story could be developing here. That's a belter. That's an absolute cracker. As soon as ball left boot, it's 10-0. The Wigan fans will boo, but that was a try, and the description for me which summed it up, you could hear Chris Kendall, there was a suspicion of obstruction, wasn't there? But Partington,
yeah, it's
push,
the
wrench into Farrell.
Orange boots, and it's that action there, yeah, it's that causes the issue, and it's not an obstruction. And you know, pause for concern for Matt Peat, not so for Liam Finn, who probably can't believe his luck. He's sat here with a full deck, the best deck that the Huddersfield Giants have been able to assemble this season. And I come back to the point I made earlier about Luke Robinson. You know, you've gone 0 from 5, and I get that on the surface. That's not a brilliant start to a season, is it? But look what he's had to contend with. If they'd have held the nerve for another week, it would have been Luke Robinson who would have been sitting in that dugout. And you know, again, I'll never understand that decision.
Yeah, with Eccles back, with Clune back, with Douglas in, with Wrench in. Worth mentioning, by the way, you talk about the injuries, with Douglas and Wrench making their debuts today, John, Huddersfield have now used 33 players in 8 games. 2 squads.
Yeah, effectively, yeah, it's crackers, isn't it?
Last one. What a good game Clune has had, but that hangs in the wind and it's dangerous, and Clune picks it up and it's kicked on. The chase is on. The chase is on. Oh! Not just short. Chris Patolo, an inch away from Huddersfield leading 16 points to 0. An inch from that Wigan line.
I'll tell you what, he followed this up really well. Clune got the nudge across to Patolo, punts it on, gets the favourable bounce, but again, it took everything the Wigan Warriors had to prevent that from being a try. Patrick Mago now skittles a couple of players. Let's take another look at this. So close.
Now they're going on that right-hand side with Eckersley up to halfway. Well, they need to get motoring, don't they? Long pass out from O'Neill. Partington is brought down just inside his own half of the field. A developing story here at the Brick. Here is Hodkinson. But for the young fullback, Wigan will be much further behind. There is the high kick this time from Smith, and this will bounce awkwardly. Which way is it going to bounce? And it's taken well. Huddersfield have it back. They lead 10-0.
Yeah, Gagai takes charge, doesn't it? Look, this weather is really, the wind, rather, is really undoing both sides. So unpredictable. As soon as that ball gets up kind of 15, 20 metres up to the top of stand level, the weather plays its tricks. Now another penalty given away. How many is that the Wigan Warriors have conceded? This has been an ill-disciplined first half hour for the Wigan Warriors. Zenon again, who's been really busy. He wrong-foots Partington, who snakes out an arm and immediately relieves pressure. Tuilala here, I think he's got a net total of about 2 metres there from the boot to the sideline. We cannot overstate how impressive the Huddersfield Giants have been. I watched them a week ago and they were game for a while at Bradford, but you know, that lack of skill and having the correct players in the correct position eventually told this, well, it's a completely different story.
The good news for Wigan, and there hasn't been much as Gagai races down the middle. is that Adam Kieran has passed his HIA. He's back on the field. That would have been a big blow. But
there'll be nobody more relieved than Sam Walters, who gets to go back into more familiar territory. calmer waters, if you like, in the middle, and there he is making a tackle.
Cozza. But then motoring again with Clune, and it was nearly intercepted, but play on as Evans picks the ball up, and he scores! Niall Evans! Only his third game for the Huddersfield Giants. Luck favours the brave. The ball went to ground. Evans picks it up, and we have a huge story developing here. Huddersfield on the bottom, leading Wigan on the top by 14 points to 0.
Yeah, and it's the attempted intercept, isn't it, from Adam Kieran. Doesn't quite get it, and I told you at the top of the show, this is the class angle. Niall Evans, he had an absolute horror run of injuries in 2025. And has got the fitness, passed the fitness test. Has had a steady introduction to this game, but he's burst into life with that contribution. Ball doing nothing, nothing in front of him. Weaves his way to the line. 3 tries, 21 minutes Gagai, 28 minutes Zenon, and now on 35 minutes, at a crucial time, winding into the half-time break, Evans with what could be a really significant score.
Scarcely believable, but you better believe it. 14 points to 0. Huddersfield leading Wigan, and Wigan have been outplayed, outfought and outthought, and Zenon adds the 2. Now repeat this, it's Wigan 0, Huddersfield 16. Wow, Liam Finn will be thrilled. Matty Pete, not so.
Yeah, I think the body language tells everything. Yeah. And this is going to be a growing concern, because this is a Huddersfield Giants side now who've it's amazing in professional sport, isn't it, how quickly confidence can disappear, evaporate, but how quickly it can just appear, materialise from nothing. And this is a side now playing with confidence. And they've got momentum, they've enjoyed the bulk of possession, and crucially, after Wigan held them out for the opening 2 or 3 sets, have been able to post points on the back of it as well. That was always going to be so important today.
Well, it's worth mentioning, they scored 3 tries. Hodkinson, the fullback, has denied them 2 more. Plus Patolo was tackled an inch away from the try line, which could have been yet another try. All gone quiet inside the brick. Clune, another high hanging kick, and Hodkinson. That's a penalty.
He's done well to take that, as Hodkinson just committed to the catch.
Patolo, it was, tackling him while he was still in the air. I don't think there was any malice in that.
No.
Thankfully, I think Noah Hodkinson is okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of Patolo, and he was moving at some pace as well. And Hodkinson, yeah, it's taken it in around the hip. And it's just naive play from Patolo. Once you realise you can't get there, you've got to pull out. It's your responsibility not to make contact with the defender, and he raises his hand in acknowledgement there. He's made an error.
And he's apologised.
And he's apologised to the fullback, who, like, as you said, with 2 defensive contributions, has, well, given the Wigan Warriors a chance in the second half. Because I reckon 2 more tries, and that is a very, very difficult decision, very, very difficult position for the Wigan Warriors to be in.
It's a relieving penalty for Wigan, and it's a relief for Wigan.
Yeah.
Can they get some points on the board just before half-time, which would make all the difference? They've had 1 attack. They've had 1 attack at home in the whole of the first half, and Liam Farrell's try was disallowed.
How important is this set of defence now for the Huddersfield Giants? The Wigan Warriors, they've barely been down here. They've had a try disallowed for obstruction. They've got a set restart. This is a crucial 60 seconds now.
It's now. Farrell bounces off the challenges of O'Donnell. How many times have we seen Liam Farrell over his long and illustrious career bounce off the challenge of opposition defenders? Partington trying to find a way through. Here is O'Neill now, and Mago. Is there room on that right-hand side for Farriman to weave a bit of magic? No, there isn't.
Harassed and harried.
Huge tackle from Powell.
Yeah, massive, important.
Smith now, inside for Junior Nsemba. Nowhere to go.
And Semba's just about wrapped up, isn't he? This was a shot from Powell on Farrimond. It was a great
Here is
tackle.
Partington. It is the last one. Big play coming up. Goes to the right-hand side. Smith now. Kieran puts the kick through, chases it, and Douglas was aware of the danger. The former Wigan man taps the ball behind. It'll be a drop out from underneath the post.
Yeah.
Wigan have 2 minutes to put points on the board.
Yeah, and conversely, and as importantly, the Huddersfield Giants have got 2 minutes to withstand the pressure, the onslaught that's going to come from the Wigan Warriors. Crucial 60 seconds for both teams now.
Well, they're going to use every single second of the stop clock. 15 seconds.
Hey, why not?
And counting down.
Why not? This is often frowned upon, but the rules are there. These are the rules. Play within the rules. Shoot some time off the clock. That's a decent clearing kick as well.
Here is Mago on the charge, the Wigan enforcer. 126 games for Wigan, 122 of them off the bench, Patrick Mago. But he does make an impact, he does make a difference. 80 seconds for Wigan here. Smith will move the ball out. O'Neill all wrapped up. Brilliant again from Powell. Tristan Powell has been sensational for the Huddersfield Giants. Top tackler, 22 so far in this first half. Brings a set restart. A minute to go. And now it's a penalty for a high tackle.
They're not going to hang around here, Wigan. They're going to crack on.
They've got to. It was Burgess who was penalised. Here is Kane Ellis. Can't emphasise how important this next 40 or 50 seconds is in this match. Here is Mago again. Runs into Burgess. Manages to get the offload. Quick hand. Kieran for Eckersley, who will score in the corner. Zach Eckersley is a crucial try. His 7th Super League try this season. And boy, did they need that. With pretty much the last act of the first half, Wigan finally put points on the board.
Yeah, just that weight of pressure. That here was the high tackle on Patrick Mago from Burgess, and that essentially gave him the full clean set. And once the offload came again from Mago, you just look at the crispness here, the passing, the interplay. Walters out to Hodkinson to Kieran, and it's some finish in the corner. We saw Joe Burgess pick up a hat-trick working in the phone box last night. I'll tell you what, that's some finish as well from Eckersley. Just brilliant awareness where he is on the field, how much space he's got. That's a timely finish and a timely score for the Wigan Warriors.
How significant, John.
Yeah.
How significant. And this kick is significant as well from Adam Kieran. But yeah, brilliant Zach Eckersley. He's got a chance as well. 34 tries, and this is 49th game for Wigan. A record any winger would be proud of.
Well, there's worse places to be on the wing for Wigan Warriors, blimey. You're going to get plenty of opportunities, but crucially, you've still got to take them, haven't you?
And he did.
Geez, Adam Kieran's face has looked better, hasn't it? I think he's maybe caught some studs there earlier on in the game. That was the reason for the head injury assessment.
Yeah, well, passing the HIA is massive as well, because they were, as you having to put Sam Walters in at centre. This is a big kick, a massive kick. Half-time hooter has gone. Does he like it? Does he like it? He doesn't. It just goes to the right of the post. So what a first 40 minutes this has been here at the Brick. That try from Zach Eckersley, keeping Wigan very much in touch after Huddersfield produced their best 40 minutes, not just for this season, but for a long, long time. The bottom lots of names of yesteryears. We look back on 30 years of Super League. With Brian and the boys at Headingley, the game kicks off at 5:30. Here, 16 points to 4. Huddersfield has scored 3 tries in the first half and only scored 8 tries in the entire season up until now, and they could have had 3 more. So I wonder what the second 40 minutes is going to hold. Can Huddersfield maintain those high standards Or can Wigan find a way back?
Oh, big contact again. The Wigan Warriors, notably, they were out early and they've got down to work, and it was Matthew Koza was on the receiving end of a double shot there. That's the contact. That's, again, heavy stuff from O'Neill and company.
Yeah, I wonder what the message was from Matty Peake. Liam Finn will be proud of his boys. More of the same as Clune. Kick downfield, gets caught in the wind, but it falls here for Gagai. Gagai now trying to find a way through. Well, if he somehow managed to find Evans was under the post there, because in the end, he managed to get hold of it himself. So, kick goes up, taken again by the young fullback. He's had a fantastic game, Noah Hodkinson, absolutely brilliant. And in defence again, here is Kieran. Well, John Wells has just managed to grab a quick word with Matty Peake, passing us on the gantry here at the Brick.
Yeah, one of the benefits of being a stone's throw away from the coaching team. Matt Peake not happy. Tommy Lulawhite not happy. The message from the dressing room, from the Wigan Warriors dressing room, start again, but more than that, he wants a complete reset from his men. That was a very, very direct message that he's given to his players.
Well, I think in short, Huddersfield's best 40 minutes, not just of this season, but for a long time, and Wigan's worst 40 minutes, certainly of this season. Easy take for Niall Evans. Signed last March, Evans, broke his foot on debut, and then on his comeback game, ripped his calf muscle. Going to be interesting when young George Flanagan's fit, to add some more firepower to that back line.
I think you've got to find space for both of them. I think both have got of their talents. I think George Flanagan is a superstar of the future. We've already waxed lyrical about Noah Hodkinson and what he's done in the first 40 minutes for Wigan.
How good's this guy been?
Jake, do you know what? Gagai, I think Gagai's been good. His running style, how slippery he is, how difficult he is to put down. He's been one of the shining lights.
We haven't seen too many. We haven't seen too many from Huddersfield today. But there is a big one on halfway, which is going to give Wigan possession.
Yeah, it was a ball that dipped, didn't it, on Tristan Powell.
He's been excellent.
He hasn't he just yet? He caught it a little flat-footed. This was what I'm talking about. Jacob Gagai always beats the first man, and I think he's been in a season of lowlights in 25, and clearly a disastrous start to 26. I think he's been a constant, and I think he's put in consistently good performances, actually.
I think we're pretty sure that we're not going to see Wigan performing as badly as we did in the first half. When the pressure comes, can Huddersfield stand the pressure test? And here is some pressure now with Nsemba making some good yards. Big hit. Good tackle as well. Lola here is Smith. Now they're moving. Ball goes inside for Walters. A couple left in this set for the Wigan Warriors. Parsington for Mago, tries to offload it.
Important tackle.
Fortune favours the Brave though, picked up by Hodkinson. Now it's O'Neill. Ellis looking for somewhere to go. Nowhere to go for Cade Ellis. But does manage to offload. Wigan still playing it. Ball alive with Farrell, tries to squeak through. Ball now with Marshall. Dangerous times this for Huddersfield. Offloading at will. Smith with the ball through. Wolford does really well. Brilliant from Zach Wolford under immense pressure. Huddersfield survive.
Brilliant defensive rearguard action from the Huddersfield Giants. They're under the pump here. Zach Wolford with a gather up from the kick from Harry Smith.
Gagai's lost it. He tried to beat one more man. It's popped up and Wigan have got it back. Well, Gagai, he beat one, he beat two, and he just lost the ball. Two handling errors at the start of this second half. Wigan now with Eckersley. Can he find a way through? Brilliant tackle from Evans. Well, Wigan have been given the heads up and the head start by Huddersfield at the start of the second half. Parsington it is. Can they survive? O'Neill, they come the short side again, and Kieran does well. Got out of the challenge there of Douglas, who missed the tackle. O'Neill now. Good jinking run from Jack Farriman. Still a couple of opportunities here for Wigan. O'Neill, Ellis, switch play, but under pressure does offload it. Now O'Neill again. Smith trying to get away through, and Evans goes high. It was Clune who went low. Immense pressure from Wigan on the last. And Farriman is brought down. Fantastic defence. Huddersfield have put themselves under all sorts of pressure with handling mistakes, but they've held out.
There's some really significant contributions defensively. We saw the Zach Wolford clean up, didn't we? There was a brilliant legs tackle from Asher O'Donnell on Patrick Mago, and then just working collectively, working as a unit, managed to do enough just to hold out. And now they looking towards getting towards the end of their set. This was the tackle I was talking about. If Asher O'Donnell doesn't pick up Mago there, Mago walks in.
Well, Huddersfield are giving it a go as well. Here is Burgess. This is a good set from right on their own try line. It really is, and here is Wolford again. Inside the ball goes for Lollahea. Shrugs off one man, Tui Lollahea. Nowhere for Clune to go, but they've gone fully 60 yards. From Wolford managing to stop the ball on his own line. Lollahea, that's a swirler. That's a difficult one. The ball bounces. Oh, it's a knock-on. It's a knock-on by Gagai. But the wind still causing havoc.
Yeah, major issues for the back threes of both sides. It comes off, I don't think Gagai plays that, but it comes off the upper arm. So that is a knock-on. You know, Matt Peters asked for a reset. What I have seen from the Wigan Warriors is an awful lot more intent defensively. There's some real violent challenges going in. I'll tell you what, that's not bad either, though, is it, from Burgess on Marshall?
I felt that up here. Massive hit from Burgess.
Oh, collected him, buried him.
How good is this? Fantastic game. Hodkinson. Hero Hodkinson as he was for Wigan, the young man in the first half. Now Luke Thompson on halfway. This will be the last. How are they going to play it? It looks like Smith is going to go towards that corner. And it bounces once, and Zenon lets it bounce twice, and then picks up the loose ball.
Yeah, I think he just caught in the sunlight. There's a little pocket of sunlight in the corner of the stadium, and Harry Smith just punched the ball downfield and got a kind bounce, didn't he, Zenon? There's some quick play the balls here. The Huddersfield Giants, once again, they're belying the position on the table and belying the start to the season. Really positive performance from them.
Evans runs into Kieran, and to Thompson, and to Walters. No way through for Niall Evans. Tane Milne is on for the Giants. Last one, just inside their own half. And there's Clune again, off. A difficult kick, chases on. Who's going to come up with it? Ball now with Lollahea, and he could hold on. It goes backwards. They're still playing it with Burgess. Burgess with a long pass out now. Douglas for the line. Douglas will score. Jacob Douglas gets the try against his former club on debut for the Huddersfield Giants. Would you believe it? They've been under so much pressure at the start of the second half, but they strike first, and they hurt Wigan, and they extend their lead.
Oh, it's sensational stuff, and take a look at who provides the try assist. Big Tom Burgess. I don't think he's thrown a pass that far in his career, but Jacob Douglas, that is some finish. He showed a real turn of pace once he got into the clear. It all started with the bomb from Adam Clune. It's been causing problems all afternoon. And then the Huddersfield Giants, I think, did really well not to panic here. That went backwards from Lollahea. But take a look at this for a try-assist pass. Once it gets to Burgess, that's insane. I wonder what a pass that is.
He's raising he passed the ball and he put his arm in the air.
It's a brilliant pass. Just great vision. Get it out to the fast men on the edges. And Douglas, I've seen this kid play a few times. He is rapid. He is quick. And more importantly, he backs himself to finish, outstrips Farriman, and the Huddersfield Giants. 16 points to the good, kick to come, and worth every penny.
Yeah, absolute. Every pound, every shilling, and every pence. Correct. 20 points to 4. Decker Douglas, on a season-long loan from St Helens, joined Saints from Wigan, surplus to requirements here. Scored 4 tries in 8 games for Wigan. He scored on his debut. Came through the Wigan scholarship, would you believe? Joined Saints. And of course, Sambu and Vaughan came in the other way from St Helens to Wigan. It's worrying times.
Well, I'd be wishing that season-long loan could be revoked.
Yeah.
I actually called his debut game, Jacob Douglas, and he scored, and that was a race to the corner flag as well. Some real pace, the young man.
He must have been watching videos of John Wells.
In fast forward, yeah.
You can appreciate that try.
Absolutely, yeah. Do you know what I like about it the most? I think it was a very quick mental decision. Switched to the ball, under the arm, and backed himself. And I always like to see a winger back himself. He had some distance to cover, and he wasn't hanging around. Made the decision, committed to it, and got the reward.
Huddersfield a half an hour from the biggest upset of the season. We saw York beat Hull KR. That was huge. This would be seismic, considering the position the two clubs are in. Off the touchline and not quite. Grist to the right of the post, and it is 20 points to 4. Bottom leads top.
Yeah, this is the second phase play. No one goes from the back three for the Wigan Warriors. And just keeping the play going. And Burgess with a pass that'll go on his highlight reel. We've talked about highlight reels a lot, haven't we? And I like that. I really like that from Douglas. Just decided very early on. I think I've got the measure here of Farim, and then I'm going for it.
Here he is. Here's your man. Good charge as well there from Tom Burgess. 250. I don't know. Look, 250 games he played for South Sydney in the NRL. That takes some doing. 33, but can still play.
I need you quicker, Wigan! Move now, Lee! Oh.
Cozza. It's gone awfully quiet inside the stadium.
Away, Junior!
Very, very few outside of Huddersfield would have expected this, let's be honest.
Very few inside Huddersfield, I think, would have expected the scoreline. And you know, not just that, just the way they're playing as well. This is a side that doesn't look like they've lost the 5 games. Last 5 games.
Clune gets the kick away. He's been terrific as well. Taken by Hodkinson. Wigan will have to start their set. 30 yards out from their own try line. Big hit there on Eckersley. Defensively, the defensive line of Huddersfield has been exceptional.
Yeah, Hodkinson just owning that catch there, and the Wigan Warriors that starting a set from a more regulation position because of that.
Farrell just about hangs on, the Wigan captain. Oh, he's hurt. Well, I'll tell you what, if Liam Farrell's down, injured, Liam Farrell is hurt.
Yeah, he got clattered in the tackle as well. I don't think he fully committed to the run because he juggled the pass. Never really had full control of the ball until contact came. Just see, he was just trying to collect the ball there. And I think he's just fallen awkwardly. Maybe a hint of a crusher there. Unintentional from Burgess, but he's such a big man. Just an awkward how he's been sat down on his backside. And they're painful, those. And just checking the back of the neck. And it's just a compression injury. The thumb goes up from the physio, all is well, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you from experience, they're painful.
Yeah.
Burgess he's coming for some criticism, hasn't he, since he joined, because I think a lot was expected of him.
Correct.
And I think he would probably admit as well he's not reached the heights that he would have liked to for the Huddersfield Giants. This performance, in line with the rest of his teammates, is a step up from what we've seen, certainly this season.
The incident going on report.
It's unfortunate one that I think Farrell was knocked in the tackle, ended up backing into Burgess, and there's no malice in what happened. Just the mechanics of tackle sometimes can be awkward. It's a contact sport after all.
Thompson. 2019, the last time the Huddersfield Giants beat Wigan in Wigan. Smith's kick gets caught in the wing. Tell you what, he's been impressive, hasn't he? Tanguy Zenon snapped up by the Giants from Halifax after the Halifax club went into liquidation. Now they've got a penalty as well. But Zenon has looked really, really impressive, French international, hasn't he?
Yeah, just, you know what, I think the trait that I've been impressed with, because, you know, he's not a particularly experienced player at this level, is just his composure. He hasn't panicked at any point. Even he's found himself in some space with covering defenders coming across. He's made the right decision. He's made the right decision on the end of the defensive line. He's positionally been sound.
With the right call as well by Liam Finn. Liam Finn decided to stick with Zenon instead of Tane Mill. There's a mistake. But I think it's been knocked out there. Kieran Rush is saying it's been knocked out. So are they going to go for a captain challenge?
Well,
That's the question.
It was an immediate response, and you can see why there's hands all over the ball there from Partington. And yes, the challenge is coming in. When a player reacts like that, goes to his captain immediately, just 100% convinced.
They're claiming that there's a high tackle.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge. Huddersfield are challenging the decision of a knock-on. They're claiming that there's been a high tackle. Kieran Rush in possession. And Mago makes contact to the head of Kieran Rush. His challenge successful.
Well, perhaps not for the reason that we thought, because there was a ball still in there. Maybe that ended up being a one-on-one, but yeah, it's just an outstretched arm from Patrick Mago, and the Wigan Warriors once again put themselves under pressure. But do you know what? He was forced into that mistake, that penalty conceded, because of the way that Kieran Rush got out of dummy half. Everything has been positive on the front foot from the Huddersfield Giants.
Well, it's just been fabulous
Well, they've gone toe-to-toe with the side that has been imperious this season.
There is Cotter.
Off the ball, Brad! Hold! Play on!
Rush at dummy half. Burgess, very influential off the bench. Ball goes to the right-hand side. Lower here. Here comes Connor Wrench. Striding across the defensive line. That was a big hit, wasn't it? That was a huge hit there by Partington. Wrench certainly felt that. Burgess again on the charge. Runs up against his international teammate, Luke Thompson. Last one here for the Huddersfield Giants. Clune, long pass out again. Paul Douglas, ball inside. Gagai, did that come off a Wigan hand? It's picked up by Lower here. It's 6 again. The tackle count is reset because it did come off a Wigan hand. Somehow, Sam Esse drags Lower here to the ground.
Smart from Lower here as well, because he wanted to see the referee signal, because he was going to kick that, he was going to throw the ball, and he looked at the referee to get the confirmation.
Burgess right in front of the post. 2 yards out in front of the Wigan post. One more try and you wonder, is that? We shall see. Short pass out. Well, Huddersfield here, that was Tane Mill. Boy, they're giving it a go. King, and that was Lower here. Here is Wrench. Oh, Wrench has a walk-in. Connor Wrench on his Huddersfield Giants debut. Could have scored the try that seals the biggest upset win of the 2026 Super League season. Douglas scores on debut, Wrench scores on debut, and Huddersfield Giants are causing ructions in Wigan.
And once again, the Huddersfield Giants, they're making the Wigan Warriors pay. That was the hand in that created the 6 again. I think there was great patience shown by Lola here. Look at him searching for the referee to get the confirmation. And then King to Lola here, out the back to Connor Wrench, and just looks up in front of him, sees Nsemba and fancies his chances. Just puts some footwork together, gets on the outside of Nsemba, the fend out, the try. And you're right, what a brilliant individual story. You mentioned it earlier, Stuart, retired from rugby, disillusioned with the sport, had a number of serious injuries, didn't he, in what was still a fairly young career. Sometimes you never really appreciate what you've got until it's gone. He's decided to pick up where he left off, and boy, that's an important contribution for his side. Tanguy Zenon now to make this a 22-point margin. I mean, that was inconceivable at 2 o'clock this afternoon.
Zenon with the kick. Is it caught in the wind? It isn't. Brilliant off the boot of Zenon. And we're approaching the hour mark here. And I can scarcely believe I'm saying that the scoreline is Wigan 4, Huddersfield 26, but you better believe it, and you better believe that the Giants are good, very good value for this.
And look, apart from a brief flurry at the end of the first half, the Wigan and the start of the second half, the Wigan Warriors haven't really troubled the Huddersfield Giants too much. You know, credit the defensive work from the Giants. They've really rolled their sleeves up this afternoon. And everything they're doing in attack now is coming off.
Conor Reg suffered a couple of really bad ACL.
Yeah, didn't he? Yeah.
And I think he just thought that he couldn't risk it anymore. But his last game was last August, played for Warrington, as Wire were beaten, would you believe, at Huddersfield.
Yeah.
And then retired after that, age 23. He's now 24 years of age.
No, he's had some time away from the game and a period of time to reflect and to let the body recover, and be standing by that decision, won't he?
Jumped at the opportunity of a 2.5-year contract, but Eddles is back. Clune has been mighty influential. Gagai's been brilliant. You can't really find a weak link in the Huddersfield side. Another difficult kick goes up and taken by Hodkinson. Can Wigan come back from 22 points down with an hour gone?
Yeah, they're not getting pulled out of shape. So when I talk about the defensive work that they're doing, there's very little that's been offered up to the Wigan Warriors. Not getting bent, not getting dented too much, not getting pulled out of shape. Everybody making the right decision, and when someone takes a chance, somebody else is following them in defensively. That's a decent carry though by Thompson.
Do put a big stock on the fact that French and Field are missing, which is why Wigan are missing a lot in attack.
Right,
Hodkinson though, through the gap, does well. Lolohea brings him down. We'll come back to Messrs French and Field in just a minute, but this is the last one. Smith's kick goes across field. Ball goes backwards, picked up by Walters. Now an opportunity for Farriman, who'll scamper over, and Wigan are finished. Jack Farriman gets the try, and Wigan are back in business. They've got a long way to go, but that is the start, and that is the try from young Jack Farriman.
Well, you know the Wigan Warriors are good enough. They've had to withstand an awful lot from the Huddersfield Giants, but this is a cultured kick, isn't it, from the boot of Harry Smith. Drops it in exactly the right area of the field, and then Walters, basketball style over the top, sees an overchase from Clune, does Farriman, just a dummy, and he opens his account this afternoon. And you're right, I wouldn't say they've got a mountain to climb, but they're going to have to repeat this 3 or 4 more times to start to worry the Giants, who look like they're really enjoying themselves this afternoon. And you mentioned the absence of French and Field. Look, the statistics tell you when both of those players are missing, the win ratio drops through the floor for the Wigan Warriors. Now, well, caveat all that by saying the man who's deputising for Jay Field at fullback has had an outstanding game so far, and the man who's deputising for Bevan French has just scored a try. So
that's a good kick as well. Brilliant kick. Harry Smith taking over the goal-kicking duties from Adam Kieran. And there's still 20 minutes to go. And 26-4 is now 26-10.
Yes,
I wonder, John Wells, I wonder.
So the 2 points converted by Harry Smith, that was a good kick. So was that set up the try for Farriman. So the Wigan Warriors, clearly, they are not the same force without French and Field. They are a different force and a different problem with Hodkinson and Farriman, as they're showing right now.
Well, they've got to go for broke, they've got to play some rugby, and they've got to gamble. Big hit on Sam Essay there by George King. Now, speaking to Matty P, Field will be 3 or 4 weeks. Jake Ward will maybe be available for a Challenge Cup semi-final if they make it. Long-term absentee will be Abbas Miski. As Wigan get a penalty, can't afford to do that, the Giants, and Bevan French is probably going to be early to mid-June. That's the timescales that they're looking at.
And are we potentially seeing a momentum shift in the game here? Try converted, penalty mid-set. The Wigan Warriors right back where they were 5 minutes ago.
Well, Huddersfield have done all the hard work, but in many ways now the harder work begins.
Yeah, look, it's a really important period for both sides here. Wigan score now, game on.
Ferryman for Walters. It was Adam Clune there, smallest man on the pitch, tackling the biggest man on the pitch. Essay gets the ball out. It died. Well, that a knock on. I think it was a knock on. Yeah. And Wigan here may decide to challenge this, I wonder. It looked like a knock on from here on the gantry. But Wigan are going to use their captain challenge here.
I think it was the second movement, wasn't it? The first definitely a push back from Brad O'Neill. The second, not so sure.
Chris Kendall will have a look.
I'll come back to you.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge. We're going to challenge in the decision of a knock-on. Okay, it's a loose ball. It's all been cleared to this point. It's a loose ball. That initially is knocked backwards by Brad O'Neill. And then it touches his arm and goes forwards, path in relation to the ground. It goes like straight underneath him. This constitutes a knock-on. It's going to be challenge unsuccessful.
Yeah, really well explained by Chris Kendall. I agree with that as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, even our older eyes saw that from the gantry distance. But to be fair, a lot of the players were unable to see that because he had his back, of course, to the referee and to the...
Yeah, first touch was backwards, but it's that second touch there where he catches the forearm, which is the knock-on. So,
Let's go, shot clock's on.
a reprieve of sorts for the Huddersfield Giants. It's not an enviable position to find themselves in because you watch the ammunition come flying in now from the Wigan Warriors.
Gagai. I get the impression as well that the captain challenge was more in hope.
Than expectation, correct, yeah. But you look at the line speed here. I mean, this is tough stuff now for the Huddersfield Giants. This next kind of 5 minutes of the game, they've got to try and wrestle a toehold back in this because it has been all Wigan Warriors for the last 5 or 6 minutes, and their heavy artillery keeps coming.
Yeah,
Three in the tackle, dominant stuff from the Warriors.
They're kept by Rodgers, and that's what they've got to do. But the call, as far as Huddersfield are concerned, whatever happens, no mistakes, no errors coming out from your own line. Well, they're still offloading, though. They might have some space on this near side with Douglas. Douglas does well. Great pass inside. What a take. What a try this is going to be. Clune will win it for Huddersfield. Sensational try from the Huddersfield Giants. Wow. What an afternoon it's been. Super League's bottom club are turning the table upside down.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Adam Clune on his return to the Giants side. It all started with an offload from Rodgers and then the hands from Gagai out to Douglas, who's been super impressive in open space. That ball was fantastic. And then Clune following back up on the inside. And he's got two pass options, doesn't need either. He scores on his return. He's been sorely missed as Clune, but this kid has really impressed me. Douglas, Gagai we know is consistently good, and Clune, well, he's got the gas and he's got the legs to finish a wonderful move from the Huddersfield Giants. That's outstanding from Fenton Rodgers. Milne, Gagai to space. Douglas, we've seen him streaking a couple of times this afternoon.
What a pass.
That's just sensational. The very, very best of the Huddersfield Giants. I think those hardy souls that have crossed the Pennines have been richly rewarded by what they are seeing, because this is unrecognisable from what they've dished up so far this season. Boy, oh boy, what a result we are looking at here.
Zenon makes no mistake. It's Wigan 10, it's Huddersfield 32, and a lot of Wigan fans are already heading for the exits.
I can't remember, Stuart, the last time the Wigan Warriors conceded 32 points on home soil. I mean, that's just a sensational try. I will not get bored of saying that this is not a side that has played with any kind of confidence or self-assuredness this season.
Well, they get the ball from the kickoff. I think it may well have been knocked on. There's a bit of after frustration there for Walters and for Kieran. And Stember's in there as well. And that is just pure frustration as far as Wigan.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Things have not gone their way this afternoon, but I tell you what, the Huddersfield Giants haven't let them. The kickoff, short kickoff attempted. Their knock-on is in the first challenge. It's knocked on from Nsemba into the hands of Kieran. And that's the correct decision. And while we've got a quick break in place, probably worth saying, I know Tara Jones made a point, didn't she, this week, of saying that she didn't want this to be about her. This was, you know, she was a referee first and foremost, doesn't matter, man or woman. You know, it's clearly a big personal milestone for her and for the game as well. But I tell you what, the referee in this game has on the spot, correct calls, not been the focus of attention, exactly what she wanted. It's been fantastic.
She has been excellent. The Rugby Football League refereeing department were very keen to point out that she's got this appointment on merit, nothing to do with anything else. She has refereed some big games in the Championship this season.
Do you know the best thing about it is, clearly, because there is a ceiling been broken here, we're the first woman to become a head referee in a Super League game. But next week, and the week after that, and the months after that, it becomes the referee, and I think that's just fantastic.
It becomes irrelevant.
Yeah.
But this performance isn't irrelevant. There's a high tackle. I don't think any arguments there.
No.
And Wigan here are in danger of losing their heads. 32-10 down.
That's exactly right. Just again, frustration and boiling over. They're throwing numbers into the tackle, but it's just too reckless.
Well, I can tell you, by the way, that applications for the head coach's role at the Huddersfield Giants close tonight.
Luke Robinson should apply for that.
Yeah.
He should reapply for the head coach's role.
But they've had over 20 applications from the UK and from down under in and around the NRL, and the Giants are going to take their time. Of course, Liam Finn will be in charge again at Easter, deservedly so, but they will take their time with the next appointment. Gagai, who's been exceptional. Well, that's answered your question. When was the last time that Wigan conceded so many points here at home? Our professor of statistics, Ian Proctor, Sky Sports Rugby League statsman, has told us it was last season. Hull won here by 32 points to 12, so there you go.
Is that the Challenge Cup? Is that Lewis Martin's hat-trick day?
Last one. Is there going to be more tries, more points for Huddersfield? Clune! Good pass for Gagai! And he's brought down by Eckersley, but Huddersfield won't bother about that. Their set ends 5 yards from the Wigan line.
Yeah, it's a brilliant position to turn it over. You look at how compressed this defence is now. And the Wigan Warriors this time, they're really having to roll their sleeves up. These are tough carries. Eckersley with the second. That's a good carry, though. Good post-contact meters for Eckersley. And the shift's on. Shifts on. Oh, it's a brilliant intervention.
That was Zenon! He's been brilliant as well, Tanguy Zenon, what to say, I mean.
Just across the board, we've had 8s and 9s out of 10, haven't we, in terms of performance.
With a couple of 10s,
performance
probably.
figures, yeah, absolutely. Just really well read from Zenon. Just chops Liam Fowle in two.
Kieran bounces off the challenger. Gagai finds Eckersley. Is there any more points in this for Wigan? Eckersley with the kick over the top. The chase is on!
Zenon again.
And Zenon, who made a tackle 70 yards away just 10 seconds ago, scrambles back.
That's brilliant.
And catches the loose ball.
Do you know what? They're personal decisions that you make. He didn't have to do that. He's decided that he's going to get on his bike and he's going to cover that ground. And he was on his bike and moving before Eckersley put that kick back in field.
Well, I don't envy John Wells because he has the job.
Oh, yeah, I have, yeah.
Our player of the match here this afternoon, and there's possibly 12 or 13 candidates wearing a Huddersfield jersey.
Well, Zenon will be up there, I'll tell you that. I think both wingmen have been outstanding. Clune has had a really influential game.
Milne with the offload. They want more points. Adam Clune coming back has been such a difference, such a difference. He looks shattered. I'm not surprised. He's not played for so long. Another difficult kick goes up. Taken well, though, by Liam Marshall.
Oh, stolen.
He's lost the ball. Stolen. Brilliant again.
Hey, shift it left. There's a try on here for them.
Oh, they possibly went the wrong way, did they? Here is Zenon. Marshall back in defence, but ball stolen. Everything is going right for Huddersfield. Everything is going wrong for Wigan, and Walton's there. Got to be a penalty. Just pushed him over.
Yeah, take the 2. Huddersfield have already decided they're going to take the 2 here, and why not? Take a minute off the clock, extend the lead, suck the air out of this stadium.
Well, that 32-12 win was in Super League. They also won here, Hull, in the Cup, 26-22.
Prockers. He's making a mug out of me again. Stop it, Prockers.
If he puts this over, we'll be asking him when was the last time Wigan conceded 34 points.
It'll be what I know he's watching at home.
Yeah.
Start typing, Prockers, because they're about to clock up again.
Get looking at those books.
It's a note to self. Should never start to question the great man.
No, you cannot beat him. He is unbeatable. You set him a challenge. It might take him hours or a day, but he'll come up with the answer.
So, Tanguy Zenon, one of a clutch of players who have just excelled this afternoon. Trying to put a short list together for player of the match. Asher O'Donnell's had an outstanding game in the back row defensively. Both wingmen, Clune, of course, Gagai.
And there it goes. Can you believe this scoreline? Wigan, top of the table, 10. Huddersfield, bottom of the table, 34.
Yeah, incredible. And this is the penalty. It's just, again, hands back on, and that's... I don't know what that is from Sam Walters. And Matt Peake probably realises by now that today's not going to be the day that they extend their lead at the top of the Super League table to 4 points. And they have got the Warrington Wolves breathing down their necks.
Gagai in the right place. Yeah. Reminding you, the official 30th birthday game, Sunday afternoon. We're on the air at 4:30 from Headingley for Leeds against Warrington. 60 minutes of Super League nostalgia and another penalty. We are losing their heads and they're getting frustrated, and there's 8 minutes to go.
Well, I think the Huddersfield Giants, look, if they haven't enjoyed themselves this afternoon, they can really start to enjoy this now. I would wager that 24 points is too much of a stretch, even for the Wigan Warriors. And they can see out this last 8 minutes, and what a story, what a story.
What a story for that man there, Liam Finn.
He's the luckiest bloke in Super League, and he'll probably tell you that as well. I mean, he's inherited a difficult situation, but a time when key men were coming back.
Well, it was difficult for him as well when Andy Kelly, the head of football operations and the management at Huddersfield, asked him to take over on a temporary basis, because as we mentioned, Liam Finn is Luke Robinson's best mate, and Robbo gave him his blessing, and here we are. Here's a question for you. York beating Hull KR on the opening night, Huddersfield winning here against Wigan. Which is the biggest upset of the season?
Do you know what? I think, well, I'll say today, and I'll say because we're now a month, 6 weeks into the season. I think that opening night was so full of emotion for York. It wasn't beyond the realms of possibility that would happen. This, I don't think anybody saw coming.
No. I did tip Huddersfield to win by 24 on the
Stop it.
Well, it might be more here because they're hunting more points. Lola here off the ground, picked up by the impressive Jacob Douglas. Double debut for Douglas and Wrench. They've been outstanding. They've both scored tries. Lola here now. Well, they won't try and do anything silly. Gagai's brought down. Wigan will get the ball 10 yards from their own line. And this stadium is emptying very quickly, John.
Yeah, I think the Wigan Warriors fans have seen enough. Just an interesting little tidbit from pitch side. just before Adam Clune scored his try, the sensational try for those Huddersfield Giants, there was a decision that was made and then shelved at the last second to withdraw Adam Clune from the game. First game back for a long time, running on fumes. They have withdrawn him now, but there was a card came out that Wolford was going to come back on for Clune. 10 seconds later, Clune's racing away for his first try of the season. Just stories within stories today.
Well, I mean, yeah, a bit of a tight hamstring. They don't want to risk it, but when he's not played for so long. 6 minutes to go. What a performance, what a result. Matty Peter's a very honest man and a very honest coach. I'm sure he will be afterwards. Can't have any complaints here. Niall Evans will just let that one bounce. 7 tackles set on their own 20. And Huddersfield are getting ready to celebrate a special, special day. I mean,
it's a write it in your calendar if you're a Huddersfield Giants fan, because this is, given the context of the season to date, where Wigan are, where Huddersfield were, this is, you mentioned it earlier, this is seismic. This is a result that will send ripples through Super League and underlines that any team on their day, Stuart, is capable of beating the other, and that's what makes this league so good.
Well, they've come to Wigan and scored 6 tries, having only scored 8 in the entire season up until today. Here they come again. Evans. Well taken by Wrench. There is Rogers.
My decision for player of the match has gone in. So that but what I'm going to say in dispatches is that there were half a dozen players under serious consideration. It's a really tough game, really tough decision to make this afternoon, and that is credit to the way the Giants have played.
Yeah, will stay with us after the game for the big reveal. Our Betfred player of the match, chosen by John Wells. And for once, I agree with him.
Well, just again, the Huddersfield Giants harassing and harrying. And that's been a real feature this afternoon. They've given the Wigan Warriors so little to work with. And the Warriors, generally speaking, can generate that all on their own, but and what you do as a defensive side is you give them nothing.
Eckersley maybe with a little bit of space here. Huddersfield won 34-4 here in 2008. Ian Proctor has been back through his books, but their record home defeat, you have to go back to the year 2000 when they conceded 50-odd points against Saints in the playoffs. But they haven't been in the game. They've not been at the races.
I haven't been allowed to. I'll try and make my point a little bit better. Generally speaking, the Wigan Warriors can create enough to win most games. So as an opposition side, particularly here, you've got to do what you can to mitigate against that. I think the Huddersfield Giants have laid down a blueprint here this afternoon. Yes, the Wigan Warriors have underperformed. There's no doubt about that. But today, the story is all about the Giants.
Oh, a terrific run there by Jacob Douglas. Season-long loan from St Helens. John mentioned it before. I just wonder whether there's a recall clause.
Generally with season-long loans, that's exactly what it says on the tin. Yeah, they've got to live with that now. You mean a recall from Saints? Yes. Oh, yes, yeah. The Giants will be working very, very hard to keep hold of him.
What a debut. But the whole team can be mighty proud of what they have achieved, and Wigan have been walloped at home. Saints have been humiliated by Hull KR, and Good Friday afternoon, live and exclusive on Sky Sports Rugby League from the Brewdog Stadium. It's Saints against Wigan. That could be another high tackle. Sam Essay. Nope, Huddersfield complaining a high tackle. I think they're going to captain challenge it. They may as well, with less than 2 minutes to go. They reckon it was a high tackle. Tara Jones says it wasn't. Chris Kendall will adjudicate. Not that it matters.
They're claiming there's a high tackle.
Okay, we have a captain's challenge. Huddersfield are challenging the decision of a handover. They're claiming there's been a high tackle. Can't see on camera 1. Camera 2. Can't see for sure on camera 2. Camera 5 maybe. Can't see point of contact on that. We'll just explore all the angles. Camera 8. Camera 9. Okay, I've explored all the angles. None of the angles show the point of contact, so it's going to be challenging, conclusive.
Okay.
Huddersfield retain their right to challenge.
Yeah, perfect, thank you. Yeah, okay. So it's inconclusive,
There you go.
you've still got your challenge.
Turnover it is. Wigan will get the ball.
Wait.
Huddersfield's biggest Super League score for 2 years, since they won 34-10 against Castleford. But this is a bit different. They're winning 34-10 against Wigan.
Off the ball! Oh.
Still to come this afternoon. Don't go anywhere. Lee against Toulouse on Sky Sport Plus. That kicks off just a few miles down the road at 5:30. Kieran. Well, there may be consolation here. Kieran with the kick upfield. Play on. Came off Evans. And another set. There is Esse. Tries to get the ball out and does to Mago. Now there is space on that left-hand side. Smith finds Farriman. Pass here for Farrell. Farrell will try and find a way through, but runs into Zach Wolford. Huddersfield don't want to concede here. A minute to go. It'll be consolation. That's all. They get a set restart. Havard. High tackle. Penalty. Is there a final line in the storybook with a Wigan try? Not that it will matter. Farrell will go for the line and he will score. Liam Farrell right at the end. The Wigan captain gets the try. His 149th try for Wigan in 17 years with the club. It matters not, but it is a Wigan try from Liam Farrell.
Yeah, and with that try, in terms of Super League tries, moves within one of Chris Radlinski. Just steps through a tackle, a dummy, beats Connor Wrench. And the finish for what is, as you said, it's a consolation only. And the Wigan Warriors look likely to be the last scorers. They will be the last scorers in what has been a hugely entertaining game, but underpinned by the story of the season. The Huddersfield Giants, down and out, eject Luke Robinson from the head coach's position, travel across the Pennines on a Saturday afternoon and nail the top of the table Wigan Warriors.
On the dash line, Harry, thank you.
When you talk about nailing them, they've hammered them. It has been an exceptional performance.
This isn't season defining for the Wigan Warriors. This is a loss and they'll absorb that and move on and have many more wins and they'll be in the playoffs at the end of the season. This is season defining for the Huddersfield Giants. They needed to draw a line in the sand.
Correct. Smith tries to add the extras and does, but that's the hooter. Boos ring around the brick here at Wigan. But what a performance this has been. Liam Finn there in the middle. Only found out late on Sunday that he's going to take charge on a temporary basis. Huddersfield legend Leroy Cudjoe in the photo as well. Director of Football Operations, Andy Kelly. But this could be season defining. Wigan's first defeat, Huddersfield's first victory. And the Giants sacked Luke Robinson after their defeat against Bradford. But they've got some big players back this week.